Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. I have your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQvideo. Let's go ahead and get started. First one today comes from Chris Cahill. Hey Aaron, booking idea. Have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins as corner at WrestleMania, then set up a match, Seth versus Roman for the title, as the main event at SummerSlam. Well, first of all, I could still see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins taking place down the line, maybe even at SummerSlam, regardless of what happens at WrestleMania. Now, I could potentially see Roman Reigns perhaps helping Seth Rollins win the WWE title, but I feel like that's not really necessary. If Seth Rollins is going to beat Brock Lesnar, which I'm still not holding my breath on that one, but let's just say, hypothetically, if Seth Rollins beats Brock Lesnar, it should be clean. I think Seth getting a tainted victory doesn't do anything for Seth. He should beat Brock straight up in the middle of the ring, clean as a sheet. I think Roman being there would weaken the value of Seth Rollins as the Universal Champion. Just my opinion on it. Now, if WWE wanted to go a different direction, like Reigns came out and tried to help Seth but ended up accidentally costing Seth the match, Lesnar retains, and then you set up Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, perhaps for SummerSlam, that I could see as more of a possibility, and quite frankly, I think there's a more realistic chance of that happening, just because I hate to say it, I don't see Seth Rollins winning the title. I feel like Lesnar's reign of terror is going to continue. I hope I'm wrong, though. Like I said, I hope my prediction is wrong. I want Lesnar gone. I want this storyline to end with him. But I'm thinking that reverse psychology. Screw it. Lesnar's just going to run rampant in WWE for seemingly as long as possible until his body just completely breaks down on him or he just completely loses interest in money. And I feel like Brock Lesnar likes money, so as long as he's getting the money and WWE wants to give it to him, Lesnar's going to keep getting pushed. But if it was me, I'd have Seth beat Brock clean, no Roman Reigns. This one comes from Dallas Cowboy Fan. Are you optimistic for the creative process with the addition of Bruce Prichard to the announcing team? I think he meant creative team, actually. I'm not sure if he meant creative or announcing or what he was trying to say, worsting team. And how much say do you think he'll have with Vince? I am cautiously optimistic. So far, so good. First week of television since Bruce came back. Good stuff. Very good stuff. B+ quality television. Now, can that be consistent? And how much did Bruce Prichard actually play in that? That's the big question. So I don't know what to think long term. I think it is a sign that WWE is trying to get back on track creatively, and Bruce Prichard was a big part of the company when the company was at its creative peak. But at the same time, I'm also that proponent of getting some fresh blood in the mix and having some new people with new ideas contribute to the WWE product creatively. So going back to the past, I don't think it's ideal, but I think it's a step. It's WWE acknowledging that there's a problem and trying to figure something out and get somebody in there that can maybe turn things around creatively. Is Bruce Prichard that guy? Only time will tell. This one comes from Jeffrey Maddox Jr. Do you think WWE could give the women a chance to win their own Grand Slam and Triple Crown by creating women's IC and US titles, assuming they merge some of the other championships or the main roster first, or is it still too many titles to manage? I would say right now there are too many titles to manage. I know on paper it sounds really nice. The women have the same titles as the men. you would definitely need to merge the men's titles right now if you're going to do that. So one set of men's tag team champions for both brands. And quite frankly, if you're going to do like a women's IC champion, then I would just merge the men's IC and US titles. Will WWE go that far with it? That remains to be seen. I don't know if they will or not, but we are seeing steps being made to have the women get more involvement and be on an equal level as the men, and that includes the amount of championships. We got the tag team titles now. So we're not shocked me if we see a women's mid-card title, but if that does happen, I'd like to see those other titles merged. I think if you just add it on to what we already have, it's too much. Got this one here from Cody. Is WWE ruining Becky's push by preventing her from competing due to injury? I thought she re-injured her knee, but kayfabe candy ass said, well kayfabe. Said it's well kayfabe. To me, the man gimmick is going stale, and it's just fun for crowds to chant yes. I think what WWE is doing right now with Becky is fine. She still has momentum. She's still hot with the crowd. I haven't been the biggest fan of just blatantly copying Stone Cold Steve Austin with her, having her be arrested, having her get in the face of the authority. It's the same tired out story, only we have a woman in the role instead of a man. Really, that's only the only difference, but I do like the man moniker. I do like Becky's performances, and I don't think WWE has ruined it per se. I think as long as the end result is Becky winning at WrestleMania, then I'm cool with what we're seeing right now. You know, you got like 5 weeks left until WrestleMania, so you need to keep things interesting. You have to have twists and turns. So I'm fine with what WWE is doing right now. You know, I do have my issues, but a lot of it's just nitpicking on my own personal beliefs of how things should be done. I'd rather see things a little less copycat, but that's just me. Got this one here from LCP. Will John Cena wrestle at WrestleMania? Great question. Officially, nothing has been said, but according to internet rumor and innuendo, he is scheduled to be at WrestleMania in some capacity. I don't know if he's necessarily going to wrestle. He may just show up and make a cameo, you know, kind of like what Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels did at WrestleMania 32, Mick Foley as well. Cena's working on a movie right now, and his movie wraps up shortly before WrestleMania, so it is difficult to really get him into a lengthy storyline unless you bring him out like literally the last week, the go-home show, and announce him for a match at WrestleMania, which could happen. But if he does have a match at WrestleMania, we're probably not going to know until the last minute. It's conceivable that they could do like a pre-tape or, you know, via satellite and set something up. So we'll have to wait and see. But I would suspect that he'll be there. It's just a matter of what role will he have at the show. Got this one here from Boston Punk. Your thoughts on Rick Rude and Tori being slighted from the DX Hall of Fame induction? Also, what about Mayor Kane inducting the group since he was an unofficial member in 1999, winning the tag team titles with X-Pac? Well, I do like the idea of Kane, actually. That's a good choice. That's one that I have not brought up. I did bring up The Rock. I brought up Mankind. Kane would be another great choice for DX, considering he was affiliated with the group for a while. So I would be totally cool with that. Now, as far as Rick Rude and Tori and any other person that was somewhat involved with DX, I'm fine with the incarnation that we're getting. We're basically getting the top members. We have Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chyna, the original three, and then the Outlaws and X-Pac came in when Shawn left. Those were the main people in DX. Rick Rude was the insurance policy, and he wasn't really there for that long with DX. So I somewhat consider him a member, but not full-fledged. And it's not what people remember Rick Rude for. Let's be real here. It was a very small part of his career. He was in the NWO longer than he was in DX. Let's be real here. China, DX was a big part of her career, so, it works out that way. But Rude, he's already in the Hall of Fame, and he really doesn't need to be in there as part of DX. Tori, yeah, she was like there for a little bit, but people don't really remember her for DX either. So yeah, I don't really see the issue with her not being part of it. I think the right people are being inducted. Got this one here from Kenneth. Hey Aaron, do you eventually see Johnny Gargano going to 205 Live? They have been lacking star power since the departures of Enzo, Austin Aries, and Neville. I think it would be a mistake. I mean, it's possible he could end up in 205 Live, but I feel like the company's already putting so much stock in him. And quite frankly, I think with all due respect to the 205 Live guys, I think Gargano and Ricochet, I think they're too good for 205 Live. These are guys that can mix it up with the best in the world. And a lot of the 205 guys can do it as well. But, the thing that really sucks about 205 Live is that their segments got dropped from Raw. I mean, to me, that was the beginning of the end, because at least they had that Monday Night Raw exposure, and they weren't just limited to the one show on the WWE Network. I would be surprised if Gargano ended up in 205 Live. I think he's going to be on the main roster. I feel like there's a lot of stock being put into him, and the company's gonna push him relatively strong. I don't know if he's going to be a top star in WWE, but I think he's going to be a pretty big deal for a while. Got this one here from Caleb Jacobs. Hey Aaron, how cool would it be if Kofi won the WWE Championship at Fastlane, which isn't going to happen now, dated question, and then on SmackDown Live 2 days later, the New Day turns on him out of a jealous rage? Think that would be a great idea. What do you think? So I guess we could flip-flop this and say, well, what happens if Kofi wins the title at WrestleMania? And then you could do that potential storyline. I would be fine with it. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of the New Day at this point. I feel like the act has been stale for a while. So I'd have no issue with them breaking up. You could do the jealousy storyline. At least have one of the New Day members turn, maybe Big E, out of frustration and jealousy that it wasn't him in that spot. So, I mean, it's a fairly easy story to tell, but will WWE go that route? I mean, if Kofi's going to win the title, I think you really should. Kofi would obviously be a singles superstar, and that would be the time to break up the New Day and then potentially give whichever member you turn, maybe both of them, give them a big push as well. And you could even do one day a New Day triple threat match for the WWE title. So if Kofi's going to win the title, I think it's a great idea. If he's not winning the title, I don't know what else you really do with New Day if they're split up. So at that point, I would almost say they're best off staying together. Got this one here from Durka, a.k.a. Woodshed Derek. Could you see Darren Drozdov being inducted into the Hall of Fame through the Warrior Award? Probably not. And the thing about that is that WWE likes the publicity associated with the Warrior Award. So they're looking for good press. And the thing about Darren Drozdov, I mean, yeah, he did have a football background, but I feel like if he was inducted, WWE would not really get that much press. And I'm looking at it from WWE's warped perspective of this. They're always, they say they're trying to do good things for humanity, but, we know WWE's always trying to get that good publicity. Would Darren Drozdov going into the Hall of Fame really generate that much publicity? I don't know if it would or not, so therefore I don't know if that's going to be a realistic possibility. I think they're looking to induct people and kids specifically, something that's a real feel-good story. Now, granted, Draws going in would be really cool and would be a really nice gesture, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. I, quite frankly, would be a bit surprised if they did, but I certainly would not rule it out. Got this one here from They See Me Rollins. Who had the biggest fall from grace after winning the world title, Jinder Mahal or the Great Khali? Interesting question. I would say probably Mahal. I mean, at least with Khali. I mean, Khali turned babyface and basically became a comedy figure, but, he still did all right. He wasn't like totally jobbed out. Like, I feel with Mahal's basically back to where he was before his main event push got going. Basically just enhancement talent, doesn't really get on TV enough, or that much, really. He's not really a presence in WWE. I feel at least Khali, even when he turned babyface and was doing comedy, he still had somewhat of a presence on the show. And, he was somewhat of a star. I feel like Mahal's star power is just completely gone. And if he disappeared tomorrow, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it didn't really matter much with Khali either, but, Khali's still that larger-than-life personality. So, WWE still managed to get some mileage out of him after his WWE title run. Mahal, just pretty much nothing going on here. He's just enhancement. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all so much, as always, for watching and supporting the website and channel. If you liked this video, please subscribe, tell a friend, spread the word about NoDQ Video, and I will see you guys next time.